Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Dayang Nur Hazirah binti Abdul Hamid, 20B0808.
Saya Nur Akila Fitria binti Nordi 20B0829.
Dan saya Nurliana binti Haji Yahya 20B0814.
Kami dari Fakulti Ekonomi dan Kewangan Islam, Universiti Islam Sultan Syarif Ali, Negara Brunei Darussalam. Definition of Ijma. Literal meaning: Ijma is agreement upon. Technically, Ijma means determination and consensus, or the collection of several things and ways of believers. The understood meaning for Ijma. Ijma is defined as agreement of the jurists among the following of Muhammad in a particular age on a question of law. As laid down by the ulama of usul, the classical meaning and the basic criteria of ijma are categorical on the point that nothing less than a general acceptance of the scholars of the Muslim community as a whole can be called definitive ijma. There is also no space within the definition of ijma for conflict or ikhtilaf at all.
Dalil of Ijma. Dalil of Ijma can be found on the authority of the Quran. In Surah An-Nisa, verse 59, Allah said, "O you who have believed, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority among you." According to Fakhr al-Razi, this ayat explained that Allah ensured Muslims to give reverence to ulul amri. There should not be immune from error, as Allah cannot give responsibility to those who are committing errors. Ibn Abbas says, ulul amri in this ayat refers to the ulama, which the other commentators use as reference to the umara. Whenever ulul amri face any juridical matters, it must obey as it reaches a consensus on ruling, namely mujtahidun. Ijma on hadith. It can also be found on hadith. My community shall never agree on an error. Therefore, the verse and hadith tells that ijma is permissible, where the scholars of usul al-fiqh have unanimously acknowledged that ijma is permissible, and thus ijma is the third source of sharia. The requirements are: first, there are a number of qualified scholars or mujtahideen at the time of the issue is encountered. Agreement made by those who have not reached the qualification or are unqualified as mujtahid will not be constituted as ijma. Second, agreement among the mujtahids must be unanimous. No matter how small the opposing minority are, the agreement upon a hukum syar'i will not be considered as ijma, because there is a possibility that the opinion from the minority may be correct. The agreement must be among the mujtahids of a single determined period, even if some of the juries of the following or subsequent period oppose them. The agreement must be according to the hukum syar'i. Lastly, the mujtahids should rely upon a sanad for deriving their opinions. Types of ijma are divided into two. First is explicit ijma. Explicit ijma happens when the mujtahids gather in one place to discuss an issue, then soon after they express an unanimous opinion either verbally or action. It may also occur when a dispute has arisen and every mujtahid gives the same legal opinion independently at a separate time. The second type of ijma is silent ijma or tajid ijma. It happens when some mujtahids, one or more, express their opinion on a specific issue and the rest of the mujtahids are informed about this opinion at the same period, but they keep silent and they neither acknowledge it nor do they object it. Basis of ijma. Sanad or basis of ijma is evidence upon which the mujtahids rely to reach an agreement. Any agreement that doesn't rely on any evidence is rejected by the Sharia, as it is considered as personal opinion. Majority of jurists agree that ijma may be based on the text on the Quran and Sunnah. However, there is a disagreement among the jurists whether qiyas and public interest can be used as a proof for ijma.
Here are the steps to be taken of conducting ijma.
text is about Ijma implementation today.
Many Muslim jurists agree that Ijma can be used in the modern times. The companions of the Prophet conducted Ijma due to the numbers of new issues that have rulings neither indirectly mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. Nowadays, unlimited new issues have emerged and continue to occur every day, which direct rulings are neither prescribed by the Quran and Sunnah. Thus, the reason for conducting Ijma is many times stronger than it was during the time of the companions, as there are many new facilities in the modern era that can be used to perform Ijma. The texts of the Quran and Sunnah are suitable for all ages. By that, all of the evidence on the authority of Ijma can be used as proof of the feasibility of conducting it at modern times. It is possible to achieve the requirements of Ijma in the modern times, as they were also possible to be materialized during the times of the Prophet. The qualification of jurists doing the Ijma are concerned in the requirements. This has become easier as thousands of sources can be found both in hard and soft copies all over the world.
One of the examples that we can get on how Ijma is implemented today is in the Islamic finance industry. Islamic finance is an institutionalized practice of financial transaction that combines the basic principle of Sharia or Islamic law. It also means a financial system set up in principle and practice on the admonitions of Quran. Quran, Hadith, Ijma and Qiyas is the basic sources which originally came from the principles of Islam and basic infrastructure of Sharia. The Islamic jurists, the sources of Sharia recognize Ijma. Ijma is considered as the legitimate source of Sharia, even if the scholars disagree that Ijma is the primary or secondary source of Sharia. The practice of collective ijtihad was being used today to determine a ruling for particular issues in the Islamic financial industry. It is also a practice of scholars where they originally ruled the particular cases. However, collective ijtihad had two different aspects. Classical ijma needed the existence of all living mujtahideen, which cannot be complete by contemporary practice of collective ijtihad. Next, some cannot be reinterpreted and irrevocable by later generations, that by any rulings which reach the classical ijma is not the case with collective ijtihad according to some scholars. The example of ijma on fatwa of international fatwa issuing bodies for Islamic finance consists of three major categories that are Islamic banking product, Islamic capital market, and takaful products.
In conclusion, Ijma can be done when a group of people are gathered in one place to discuss about a specific matter and everyone agrees to the decision. It is not only implemented in the past, but it is also implemented today in many different aspects, especially in the Islamic banking.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.